to get this pulley off my AV92, and I had no clue how to do it. Some people said there was a special puller for it, but I couldn't find one. Alright, so I'm going to weld bolts across these faces. And tack, 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 so I'm not pulling on the rubber. It's the only other way I know how to do it. Otherwise I'm just going to destroy it, and I got to get to the motor mount. Alright, so I got to go find bolts I can use on this thing to pull this off. I need ones with large heads, so I want to bridge the gap between the rubber and the inside, from the outside to the inside, and tack it on the inside, and then tack it on the outside on all three spots so it doesn't touch the rubber, and hopefully it holds it together. I mean, otherwise I really don't know what else to do. Nobody seems to know anything about this puller. To weld the bolts to the face of this damper pulley, I had to move the engine to the opposite side of the shop where I had my welder set up, and where it was sitting at this point there was tools laying everywhere and grease all over the floor. I think that motor's been laying there for at least 3 years. So this was me cleaning up my tools laying on the ground and trying to put everything away, even though I'll probably wind up getting it back out. This pulley looked like it had threads in the inner part where the crank bolt was, but that's not what they were, so I had to do it this way. I originally thought this was a smarter solution, welding from the inside to the outside and not pulling on the rubber from the outside and possibly ripping it. Get the welder out and just tack them spots. Try to give it some. Alright, beat it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, probably? Look out! Get. Go. Get. So obviously I have some grinding to do when I get this off. Hopefully it comes off. See if that holds. Sounds something. So I tried this several ways. Now I'm back to the way I originally was trying it. With less pressure on the pulley, and I'm gonna put some heat. I'm just gonna put some heat right where it seats on the crank. And see if I can just give it some tap when I melt the rubber. Everything I had to do with this thing so far is everything everybody said not to do. But I can't find this magical puller to get this damn thing off, and I can't weld to it like I tried to. It's cast, and I don't want to use cast rod on it. Now I'm sure this thing's probably going to fail on me in the future. Try to stick a little bit of pressure. So my memory cards ran out on both my cameras. So obviously it's coming off. I don't know if you can see that, but this has fought me the entire absolute way, and it's still not all the way off. I can't even budge it. I gotta put the puller back on there. I don't have a stand for my camera, or my phone. So I'll take a picture when it's done. So all the way to the very end, I can't get this thing off. It's right at the end, and I can't get it off. It fought me the entire way. Well, that's it. All the way off. I wound up hitting it with a wooden block and a hammer towards the end and walking it all the way. So there is that big piece of crap. After the first motor, I figured this motor would be a lot easier. I used a steering wheel puller and bent one, and then I went back to the snap-on puller. Man, I had no clue what I was in for with this one. I'm gonna heat this up and try whacking it, and I'm gonna use this torch and get a little hotter and see if that helps. Let's hope this does the trick. I'm tired of pulling balancers off. I'm just going through videos, man. I'm moving videos all over the place, and to be honest with you, I don't think there's any video that anybody really wants to see. They're all terrible. My tip needs to be clean. I'm missing a few points. I'm gonna change this angle on here. I'm gonna move it north and south here and try it in a different location. See if that helps some. I'd like to get this off tonight. It's a hectic night. I'm trying to do 8 million things at once. Something just moved. Must have been the clamp. It's smoking. Ah, it's a clamp. Million things going on. Flood watch, cats are outside. Freaking pouring. I think it's supposed to hail. Can't find my damn glasses. Now you'd think that would scare the cat away. It doesn't. It doesn't care. There's a lot of work just to get a freaking balancer. It must have moved. I think it was tighter than that. Now it doesn't look like it moved at all, but I'm getting turns out of it. Unless that was just the heat, heating up the clamp. I don't know if you can see it moving on the camera. I'm getting a turn out of it each time. Come on, baby. And the other one, once I got the other one, the balancer was spinning. I don't know if I showed it on camera. And that's a good sign. Now it looks like it moved. It looks like it moved about 1/8 of an inch. So I switched to the GoPro because I don't know when the other camera only shoots for like 15 minutes or so. Maybe longer, maybe a half hour. But it only shoots that long and then it shuts off. So I don't know if it got the point where I got this collar off or not. I don't know if this is the way you're supposed to get this balancer off or these wedges out. Sometimes on some things, if you hit it in, they'll pop out, but I don't want to beat the crap out of the balancer either. So I'm just going to put this puller on there and hopefully this thing works just to get it off, or at least it'll move it. So this is another one that's going to be probably a fight to the death. We'll see. And this can, for some reason, only sprays upside down, so that's going to help. That's changing too, so I wonder if it's coming loose. It must have moved. I can hear it change. Is that something? Nice. That's one thing about these wedges is I don't know if they're disposable or what. that's what holds that balancer in, is this wedge. That's a huge, huge accomplishment for me because, man, I just couldn't get it to move. The other one I've been working on for a month, just wouldn't move. That's it. Now I can go home and eat dinner. It's 7:30. I couldn't believe I had these freaking bolts upstairs. I always have oddball bolts. Never the common bolts because you always run out of those. So whatever these bolts are, 6-inch, 5-inch, 7/16 fine thread. Thank God I had them. That's a sign. I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign. But anyway, that's all. So next step is I gotta pull this seal, pull the rear main seal, drop the pan, and I gotta figure out another way to support this motor in the front so I can pull these bolts out to get that motor mount on. So that's it. So my next move, engine-wise, is to get these 3 studs out and figure out a way to mount this. Hopefully I could put the motor mount on. I have to move the way that the motor is being held up right now because it's literally sitting on these jack stands and the ones in the back. And that kind of makes me nervous to get underneath of it if I get it to change the bottom end bearings. I was thinking about dropping the oil pan and then moving the stand back. I'll probably pull these studs out first and then support the motor under the corners of the block for now, and get this whole front done. But before I even do that, I gotta the plate that came off of this front from this motor, it's got to be primered and painted and all that good stuff, and then along with the pulley and some other parts. And then I want to gradually work my way up so I can be done with the coolers and all of that stuff and work and exchange all this stuff on the front of this thing to this one, and then hopefully run it once I get the motor mounts mounted on place. I could run it sitting still because it'll be more stable from the outsides. So that's next. And then I want to thank Neil from Phoenix Coach for cool shirts that they have, and check out his website because when it comes to Silver Eagles and bus stuff, they trying to pick up where Silver Eagle left off. So check that out, and thanks to Neil. And I want to thank Yvonne from OptiForce One and OptiCoat because honestly, without watching the stuff that he does on his bus, I also wouldn't be motivated to try to keep pushing on with this thing because it's a hell of a project to take on. And watching people knock things out kind of gets you going to keep going. So thanks to those guys a lot. I wanted to mention that before. I'll see you later.